I spent most of my 40s thinking I still had time. Time to start saving, time to invest, time to figure it out. But time has a way of disappearing, quietly, without warning. And by the time I sat down and did the math, the numbers were brutal. If you're in your 40s right now, this video might be the most important thing you watch this year, because the mistakes I'm about to share, I made every single one of them. I'm Late Starter Fire. I'm 49 years old living in Southeast Asia, and I'm building my retirement from almost zero. This channel is about what I'm learning, so you don't have to learn it the hard way. Today, the 5 retirement mistakes that are most common in your 40s, and more importantly, what to do instead. Let's start with the one that hurts the most. When you're 42, retirement feels like a distant problem. You think, I'll start properly next year, after the car is paid off, after the kids finish school. Here's the math that changed everything for me. If you invest $500 a month starting at age 42 with a 7% average annual return, by age 60 you'll have roughly $237,000. But if you had started at 32, that same $500 a month, you'd have over $781,000. Same amount of money, same discipline, but a 10-year difference costs you $544,000. That's not a small mistake. That's a retirement. The good news? Every month you start earlier than next month still matters. The second best time to start is today. There is no financial instrument called a retirement loan, but there are student loans, scholarships, work-study programs. Your kids have options. You don't. I'm not saying don't support your children. I'm saying if you drain your retirement savings to pay for their university, you may end up depending on them financially in your 70s. That's not a gift to your children. That's a burden. The oxygen mask principle applies here. Secure your own mask first. A funded retirement is one of the greatest things you can give your family. Keeping too much in cash or fixed deposits. Many people in their 40s, especially in Southeast Asia, keep their savings in fixed deposits or savings accounts. It feels safe. It feels responsible. But here's the problem. Inflation is eating your money alive. If inflation runs at 3 to 4% per year and your fixed deposit earns 3.5%, you're barely staying flat. In real terms, you're going backwards. Over 10 years, money sitting in low-yield accounts loses significant purchasing power. Now, I'm not saying put everything in the stock market, but a portion, even 40 or 50%, invested in diversified ETFs can make an enormous difference over a decade. Safety feels good. Growth builds retirement. You need both. Ask most people in their 40s, how much do you need to retire? Most will say something like, a lot. That's not a plan, that's a wish. Without a number, you can't build a strategy. You're just saving randomly and hoping it's enough. Here's a simple framework, the 4% rule. Estimate your annual retirement expenses. Multiply by 25. That's your FIRE number, your retirement target. If you need $30,000 per year to live comfortably, your number is $750,000. If you're planning to retire abroad, Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, maybe your annual expenses drop to $24,000. Your number becomes $600,000. Suddenly, retirement feels more achievable, but you can't hit a target you haven't set. The final mistake, and maybe the most common, is trying to figure all of this out by yourself, with no system, no accountability, no clear process. Retirement planning in your 40s isn't complicated, but it does require consistency. You need to know your number. You need an investment vehicle, index funds, ETFs, dividend stocks. You need to automate contributions so it happens without willpower. And you need to review your plan once a year. That's it. No complex trading strategy. No get-rich-quick scheme. Just a simple, consistent system. Started as early as possible. So let's recap the 5 mistakes. 1. Assuming you have more time than you do. 2. Sacrificing your retirement for your kids' education. 3. Keeping too much in low-yield, inflation-losing cash. 4. Never defining your actual retirement number. 5. Having no system and no consistency. Now, which of these hit closest to home for you? Leave it in the comments. I read every single one. If this was helpful, subscribe, because every week I'm documenting exactly how I'm building my retirement from a late start. And next week, we're going deep on the 4% rule, why it might be broken for late starters, and what to use instead. See you there.